Rising food prices, startling energy bills, and frustration with politicians and employers. That's what brought 10,000 people to the streets of Brussels on Wednesday. Dressed in red, green and blue, the colours of the three main unions, the anger was palpable. Protesters want politicians to take action now.
I've been working for the past 23 years, and now is the first time I'm having real difficulties to survive.
We need to fight against the increasing prices and the energy bills. Life in general is getting very unbearable.
I count on my government to fix the problem. If there is a conflict between Ukraine, Russia, or geopolitics, I don't care.
Similar protests have swept across Europe of late, from Greece to Austria to the Czech Republic, with families and workers alike worried about what the immediate future may hold.
I've come to Paris where people are on strike and they've gathered here today to protest wages. They're saying wages are not high enough.
In Europe, we are facing the worst energy crisis in at least 50 years.
The price to live here is soaring.
The price of everything went up significantly, bread, meat. It's never seen in my life.
As Europe is facing its worst energy crisis.
Europe is already bracing for what could be a long, cold winter.
Aimed at tackling the energy crisis that's driving up the cost of living.
This is, of course, something which every single European has on its mind right now.
It's hurting restaurant owners in Portugal.
The electricity prices has raised up more than 30-40%.
And homeowners in France.
So when you're in your toilet, there is no heating. Not anymore.
This dad says his electric bill reached $1,000 last month.
In a neighborhood like this outside Paris, people are seeing their electric bills be 4 times higher.
The EU has been getting more than 40% of its natural gas imports from Russia, but the supply has been thrown into chaos.
Ни газ не будем поставлять, ни нефть, ни уголь, ни топочное масло, ничего не будем поставлять.
And now winter means homes and businesses need electricity and gas to live and work. Business owners are feeling it.
And it's part of our everyday in the kitchen. We use a lot of electricity and a lot of gas.
Not just from their electric bills, but even cooking oils and bread.
Price went up more than 200% because Russia and Ukraine are the main producers in the world, and they were stuck and they were not importing anymore.
I know a lot of people that just didn't put anything. That's it. They just decided that they will live with a lot of sweaters. That's it.
И нам останется только одно, как в известной русской сказке приговаривают: мерзни, мерзни, волчий хвост.
The war in Ukraine has put Europe's energy supply in shock, and it's not helping that some refineries in France are on strike over their wages.
We stopped receiving, there's a lot of problems with the pipelines.
Which means at times you can't even find gas.
Not only we got robbed on the gas and electricity prices, we couldn't find gasoline for the car or for the motorcycle. So I had to go to work actually with the bicycle.
He now has to use an app that shows where gas stations actually have supply.
This is something that you hear about. I've been to in Lebanon, right, where it's a gas crisis.
Yes.
You don't expect to see that in France.
I have a colleague from Madagascar. When he was a kid, he saw the same thing that happened here in France, and he had not seen it in Madagascar since then. It's a flashback for him to Madagascar 30 years ago.
Workers are going on strike, saying they need higher wages to cope with what's happening.
The trains are closed today because the workers are now on strike.
Some people just can't afford to do that.
What do you want the government to do?
Raise wages. I demonstrate for wages against inflation.
Il y a des grévistes dans notre université, aux travailleurs du nettoyage qui sont en grève des meilleures conditions de travail, des augmentations de salaire.
So I just met a French teacher, and he's upset about the Euro situation. He's upset about the war, and he wants France to be removed from the EU. He wants more sovereignty for France.
We're here living in an era of no prices.
We are protesting for the salary because we need money.
This is the perfect storm for the market prices to obviously explode.
Our Minister of Economy went on TV saying, you need to actually wear turtleneck.
The minister responded, said he's planning on ditching his ties this winter and wearing turtleneck.
Negotiators have reached a draft deal on a climate compensation fund at the UN's COP27 summit in Egypt. After days of gridlock, the new draft proposal would see countries agree to set up a fund to compensate the vulnerable nations bearing the brunt of climate change. Calls for such a fund have dominated the last 2 weeks of talks, but the proposal still needs to be voted on by delegates and postpones the key decision of which countries would pay into the new fund until the next year's UN climate summit.
Germany is planning to burn more coal, the most polluting fossil fuel, as Russian cuts to gas exports threaten shortfalls. Berlin says it must limit the use of gas. All this follows an announcement by Russia's Gazprom saying it would slash supplies through the Nord Stream 1 pipeline, apparently because of technical issues. EU officials believe Russia is punishing countries in the region for supporting Ukraine. Many European nations have signaled they will likely burn more coal as they reduce their reliance on Russian gas.
Les hausses sur les prix d'énergie, le gel du point d'indice des fonctionnaires,